everyone, I'm DylanBandicoot, and today we are going to take a look at my Sims game. What was that? Ah yes, Game Boy games with tilt controls. They used to be everywhere. And with everywhere, I mean there were only 5 of them, and 2 of them were Japan exclusive, and the best game out of these 5 never even released in Europe. Fun! Let's go through them in a random order, starting with the only one of these games that I've played as a kid, Yoshi's Universal Gravitation. Also known as Topsy-Turvy in the US, but that's a pretty boring name in my opinion. Soul versus Soulless. This is actually one of 3 GBA games that I still have physical boxes for. They look like pancakes. Yummy! Oh look everyone, this cartridge has a lump. Okay, so in order to get gameplay footage, I need to play 4 out of these 5 games on an unofficial emulator. But that means that the tilt controls probably won't work. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. And if it doesn't work, then I guess this video is cancelled? We'll see. Okay, so first things first, we have to calibrate the motion controls. It probably won't work, but let's just pretend my DualShock 4 is a GBA and see what happens. My hopes aren't very high that this is going to work, but... Oh my god, it works! The MGBA emulator recognizes the motion controls from the DualShock 4. I didn't even have to go to the settings or anything to make this compatible. The emulator and controller just did this on their own. I didn't even know about this compatibility before I started working on this video, I swear! Alright, let's finally dive into Yoshi's Universal Gravitation! Yay, Yoshi! Look, I'm tilting the apples with my Game Boy. So the story starts with Bowser wreaking havoc on Yoshi's island for some reason. A spirit named Hongo couldn't stand seeing Bowser always wreaking havoc, so after all these years of ignoring all the trouble Bowser has been causing across both Yoshi's island and the Mushroom Kingdom, he finally randomly decides to step up now, I guess. The story gets even weirder than that, believe it or not. Hongo decides to trap Bowser in his forbidden pop-up book. Lock him away! But uh-oh, Hongo has trapped the entire island inside his book, because once Hongo makes up his mind, that's that. What kind of logic even is that? Yoshi is pissed about it, and the character who calls himself the spirit who loves surprises agrees that Hongo overreacted and wants to help Yoshi get the island out of the pop-up book. They suggest seeking out the other 6 spirits on further pages of the book to help Yoshi reach the final page where Hongo and Bowser reside. The spirit who loves surprises gives Yoshi the power of tilting to achieve this, but Yoshi is still pissed and lets out his anger on the spirit using his new power. Damn! Yoshi is savage in this game!
Hey! I'm the spirit that likes surprises! I have a surprise for you! In my pants! Look! It's a copy of Yoshi's Universal Gravitation!
Okay, so this game is very interesting. This isn't just a traditional platformer with tilt controls, as each level has 1 or 2 missions you have to try and complete. Eat 6 apples, collect 65 coins, kill 5 enemies, beat the level in 45 seconds. These are just a couple of examples of goals you have to achieve in this game. Depending on how well you did on a mission, you receive a medal. Collect enough medals and you can proceed to the next world, page. As for the tilt controls, I really liked them. When I played this game as a kid, these blew me away. Want Yoshi to walk up a wall? Just tilt your system to change gravity. Now, this does look better on an actual handheld system where you move the screen with the game. So, for example, Yoshi running up on a wall looks a lot more natural where your Game Boy screen is tilted to make it look like Yoshi is just walking up a steep slope rather than a wall. Now, I know this game is pretty hated among fans, and I can kinda understand why. Even though I like the tilt controls, They can be very clunky at times, and the mission-based structure probably isn't for everyone either. But personally speaking, I still really like this game. It's not the worst offender in the Yoshi series. Heck, I'd say this is one of the better ones. I mean, just look at what happens when you eat an apple. And you can half-pipe in this game. And go on a pirate ship attraction upside down. This is awesome! I also really like Yoshi's sprite in this game. Looks very 3D. And can we all agree that this is the coolest health bar of all time? Oh hey, it's the ball transformation from Mario Party 8. I guess that originated from this game, huh? And last but not least, I think this game has a very solid soundtrack as well. It's very cute. Twinkle, twinkle, superstar, how I wonder where you are. In the pop-up book I see, eating an apple may be true. Walking up the wall you go, don't be dizzy, don't be slow. With that said, I give this game
The spirit who loves surprises.
out of 10. Next, let's switch things up with a Japanese exclusive game for the Game Boy Color, Command Master. Ooh, this game was developed by Enix before they merged with Squaresoft. Tilt! Quick! Alright, looks like we have to give ourselves a name limited to only 4 characters. My name is Cuck. So even though I have a pretty good streak on Duolingo right now, I still really suck at reading Japanese characters. So I don't know what any of this says, but I think I can guess the story based on the images we see. There once was a TV show called Neo Stars. It was about cool looking creatures battling each other like Pokemon, or Digimon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! But for some reason, there is a broken Game Boy Color in the show. And this guy could use his Game Boy to transform into a Gundam robot. But oh no! The Heartless are trying to steal Game Boys! The next day at school, our protagonist Cuck is hanging out with his friends, Wedge, Tifa, and James. They then go to the lab of Dr. Krieger to learn about becoming Command Masters on Neo Stars themselves. And that concludes my totally accurate story synopsis. So now the tutorial starts, and yeah, this game is weird. It's kinda like a rhythm game with tilt controls, and oh yeah, no music. No matter how well I perform, I keep failing the tutorial and the game won't let me progress. I tried looking up videos of this game to help me, but I was only able to find one single video about this game on the entire internet, and the person who recorded that footage also got stuck on this exact same tutorial and eventually just gave up and stopped recording before anything interesting even happened in this game. After way too many attempts, I finally succeeded at this very first tutorial section. But don't ask me how, because I forgot to record it. Yeah. As for what Cuck was doing in the first place, I think he was doing one of those stereotypical anime transformation poses. Now another tutorial section has started, and I don't fully understand what to do. I think I have to tilt right and then up every time the yellow arrow overlaps with a black one, but it doesn't seem to work right away. Oh look, it did work eventually. And this is apparently how you deal damage to an opponent. Neat. Now we have another tutorial that asks me to shake the Game Boy? Okay. Shake! 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 But no matter how many times I try, I can't seem to get past this tutorial section. There's definitely something I'm supposed to do along with the shaking, but without the ability to read Japanese, I just can't figure it out anymore. I'm officially stuck. In the tutorial of all things. Oh, that sucked. I give this game a cuck out of 10.
Cuck.
What's that smell?
Hello!
Ah! What are you?
I'm a little garlic, fresh and sweet. I have a face but sadly no feet.
That's not how the song goes.
Bye-bye!
Huh? WarioWare Twisted is by far the best game I'll be taking a look at in this video. It was so good in fact that Europeans probably wouldn't be able to handle its awesomeness, so we didn't get the game at all. Thanks Nintendo for caring about our health and safety. We're just a small city after all. Now the game starts with a cutscene that confirms that Wario is indeed a rage gamer. In order to get his GBA repaired, he goes to Dr. Krieger, who throws the GBA into a washing machine? I've seen weirder stuff happen to WarioWare before.
I'm stuck again!
The GBA then comes out of the washing machine with the sleek new design, but without any buttons. Dr. Krieger then tells Wario that he can now play his games while moving the system instead. Wario loves this and immediately decides to mass produce these to become filthy rich yet again. Oh yeah, look at me twisting the title screen around. Oh my god, this how to play is hilarious. A little warning before playing. Spin your Game Boy Advance, but don't spin your body. You'll get really dizzy. You can't tell me what to do. As expected from a crazy WarioWare game, you even navigate the menus by spinning. Oh hey, Mr. Game & Watch. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with the WarioWare series, you very quickly complete crazy fast-paced micro games back to back, which is a lot more fun than it sounds, I swear. I really love these games. Now in Twisted, of course, the twist, haha, see what I did there, is that you spin your system to complete these micro games. It reminds me a lot of Smooth Moves for the Wii, which is my personal favorite of the series, as well as the latest game in the series, Move It for the Switch. Heck, the final boss micro game is literally a dance game just like in Smooth Moves and Move It. Seriously, this is one of the best WarioWare games ever in my opinion. I'm genuinely sad that this one was never released in Europe, because if it was, I would have absolutely loved this as a kid. Thankfully, the game emulated perfectly with my PS4 controller. Everything worked exactly how it's supposed to work. But there was one micro game I struggled with. The boss game from Dr. Krieger's level. You see, Dr. Krieger's micro games rely on the player's perspective changing with how they're tilting the system, which wasn't a problem for me during his regular micro games, thankfully. But during this boss, it was very difficult for me to keep this guy in a perfectly balanced straight position as he's walking. This took me more attempts than I'd like to admit. This game is also where the Mona Pizza song comes from, which most people probably know from the Super Smash Bros. Series. Also, I never realized Mona Pizza was a Mona Lisa pun. Wait, Mona is a high schooler. How the hell did she get her own pizza place? And why did she quit this job in future games? Her restaurant is so freaking popular that the local pop star made a song about it. This game also introduces 9Volt's best friend 18Volt for the first time. And his theme song sounds exactly like Yuffie's theme song from Final Fantasy VII? Wait, what? Take a listen. And then the song shows up again during the credits. And remember the gamer minigame from Game & Wario on the Wii U? Well, I think that was inspired by this scene from 9Volt's ending cutscene. Just a hunch. Actually, the reward capsules from Game and Wario Gold seem to originate from Twisted as well. So yeah, there's a bunch of fun little minigames and toys to play around with in this game too. Perfect for long car trips. I've always wanted to sweep on the go and violate a police car as they're riding right next to me.
Hands so I can see them! I said hands so I can see them!
I give WarioWare Twisted and unnecessary police violence out of them. Good evening everyone, I'm your host, Cuck Norris, with breaking news. A YouTuber you've probably never heard of before just got arrested by the police. In other news, the Pinachus are invading. The Pinachus are invading! The Pinachus are invading! Everyone, evacuate quickly! Next up is another Japanese exclusive game, Koro Koro Puzzle Happy Panachu. If you've ever played a puzzle game like this before, then you probably already know how this one works. Connect 3 or more Pinachus of the same color and they will disappear. And if they disappear, they will either say or why they are sometimes happy or no happy, I don't know. You can also connect 2 or more bombs to clear out your surroundings, but you decide yourself whether or not you want to detonate them by pressing B. Pressing the A button will summon more Pinachus, including the bombs, but be careful that you don't accidentally fill up your whole screen and lose. And if you're playing competitive against a CPU, they can send garbage to you, of course. I'm assuming I sent garbage to them too, but the game doesn't show me anything in regards to my opponent. And oh yeah, one last thing. You control the Pinachus by tilting your system. That's it. That's the gimmick. Instead of controlling the game with the D-pad, you tilt. I mean, it's cute, but it should have been optional. I mean, maybe it is optional and I just can't find the D-pad option due to the fact that all the menus are in Japanese. Anyway, I played this game for 8 minutes. No matter what I did, the game never ended. Every once in a while this girl would send garbage at me. So I eventually decided to spam the A button to let myself loose. What? Am I arousing you? Subscribe to my OnlyFans. You tilt, you tumble. It's Kirby Tilt and Tumble. The last game I'll be taking a look at today is a very special game, as it is, as of making this video, the only Game Boy game with tilt controls that you can play legally on modern hardware. Kirby Tilt and Tumble is available on Nintendo Switch Online's Game Boy app if you just have a regular ass subscription, and that is really freaking cool. Whoa, were those actual human voices coming out of my Game Boy Color? I thought only the GBA could do that. Okay, this game is so nice. You roll around Kirby by tilting your Game Boy or Switch or Pro Controller or whatever, I don't care. You can roll him around by tilting your feet if that's what you really want. You can even make Kirby jump as well as defeat enemies by quickly flicking your controller up. This game controls surprisingly well. Perfect even, I'd say. Oh Kirby, you're so funny. No Kirby, stop! You're going to get us cancel culture with those jokes. The level design is genuinely really good too. They feel like obstacle courses with pinball elements. Occasionally throwing in some puzzles too, and even flight sections, which I very much enjoyed. And the game isn't afraid to make things challenging very quickly either. Like, seriously, some levels in World 2 kicked my ass. And then there are the boss fights. These were a lot more fun than I expected. Probably my favorite parts of the game actually. Out of all these 5 Game Boy games that we've taken a look at today, I'm glad at least one of them is available on modern systems. And I hope that the other 4 games will get their chance to shine again someday too. I especially want to see WarioWare Twisted on the Switch Online GBA app. I mean, it's a really freaking good WarioWare game that's somehow never released in Europe. How did that even happen in the first place? Well, to end off this video, let's do a ranking of all 5 of these games. On number 5, I have Command Master because I couldn't even get past the tutorial. On number 4, I have Koro Koro Puzzle Happy Pachu because these types of puzzle games aren't usually my cup of tea, but I'm sure that puzzle game fanatics will see this as a golden goose if this ever comes to NSO. On number 3, I have Yoshi's Universal Gravitation, aka Topsy Turvy if you want to be boring. This game did not hold up as well as I remembered from my childhood, but I still think it's a very fun game that is very overhated by the internet. On number 2, I have Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Very fun, well-designed game that holds up very well. I have nothing more to add to that I haven't already said in this video. And my favorite Game Boy game with tilt controls is of course WarioWare Twisted. I mean, what can I say, the WarioWare devs never miss. And quirky motion control gimmicks always work well for these types of games. I definitely recommend checking this one out if you haven't already. And before you click off this video, I have one more surprise for you guys.
I know when you were sleeping. I know when you're awake.